Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Halo CE mod tutorial, and today we're doing part 4 of the custom weapons tutorial, which is going to be covering how to create a custom ammunition meter for your weapon. And this is ammunition meters for weapons with fixed magazines, so like an assault rifle, like a needler, like a Covenant carbine, stuff like that. Stuff where you have a set amount of shots each time and then you have to reload, or you can reload before you have that, but the total ammo count is not able to be used pretty much at all times like it is with a plasma pistol or a plasma rifle. And those are basically just, there's a heat meter. It's not counting ammunition, it's just counting the heat that you have. But yeah, so the very first thing you need to do is go into Gorilla and then create a new Weapon HUD interface tag. Should be at the very bottom here. I can't remember if I created this tag in the part. Actually, I can see right here. Oh, it's date modified. Can I see date created? April 24th. Okay. So maybe. The point is, you have to create a custom weapon HUD interface tag, and most of the settings in here you can just copy. Oh, by the child HUD that has to be master rounds. If you have a magazine, a set magazine, if you're doing plasma UI HUD, and then master plasma would be that one, but we're not going to touch on plasma in this one. So yeah, that's the first important setting. Then we got total ammo cutoff. You basically want to take the maximum magazine size of your gun, add 1 to it. So the maximum size for me is 30. I did 31. The one for the assault rifle is at 61 here. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why it goes 1 over, but it seems to work. Everything works perfectly fine, so I might as well leave it like that. And then loaded ammo cutoff, that is the amount of rounds you'll have left in your magazine before it starts flashing and warning you that you need to reload soon. So when I have 5 rounds left, it'll start warning me. And now we get to all this stuff. So you're probably going to need to add a static element, add a meter element, add a crosshair, and then add a crosshair overlay, and then that's it. For the entire crosshair stuff, you can copy everything from the assault rifle weapon HUD interface, or I guess any HUD interface you want to. If you want to have the shotgun crosshair, you can just go to the shotgun weapon HUD interface, copy everything here. This is not relevant to what we're doing. And then the messaging information. This just determines if your weapon is laying on the ground and then you go to pick it up, it'll show a picture of your weapon. We don't have those custom bitmaps made right now, so you're going to have to choose from a weapon that isn't yours. 8, that's the assault rifle, and then text index, I think you can just leave that at 0. With offset, I guess set that to 2. Again, this is not important whatsoever, but if you want to have everything working kind of, I guess set those settings. But the things that we are concerned with is the static elements and the meter elements. And, well, we're only focused with one setting in both of these. The interface bitmap for the static elements, and then the meter bitmap for the meter element. Everything else can just be copied. All the colors, all the alpha multiplier, whatever, all this stuff can just be copied from whatever other weapon you're basing your stuff off of. That should be fine. The anchor point, I think that defaults to top left, but set it to top left. Unless you want your ammo meter somewhere else, you could set it wherever you want, really. But that's just getting everything set up. So basically, create everything here, copy all this, or copy it from whatever weapon HUD interface you want to base your weapon off of, and then just leave the interface bitmap empty and leave the meter bitmap empty, because we need to create those bitmaps, and that's the focus of this video. Okay, so now we're going to go over how to create the static element bitmap, which is very easy. I already have mine created, so you're not going to be able to do this right now, but I'm just showing you what's going on. So it's very easy. You just you take however big your maximum magazine is, you make a bullet for each bullet in there. So I have a magazine of 30 bullets, and you just make them pure white in your bitmap. I'm gonna show you the actual raw bitmap, but this is what it'll look like in Halo. If you toggle alpha on and off, it shouldn't matter. It's going to be a very easy bitmap to make. So we'll go out of here quick. You want to go to your data directory. That's where you want to make all your raw bitmaps. So mine is in data, weapons, my custom weapon, so rifle, and then a bitmaps folder. And then when you compile, just like everything else, your meter bitmap will be created in the tags version of this directory. So it'll be tags, weapons, file, bitmaps. If one of these folders does not exist, it will create the folder, or it'll just create every folder if they don't exist. But yeah, these two are the ones I created. These final three, they're just tests that I tried to tests of trying to figure this out. They're just failed tests. There we go. That works better than whatever the hell I was saying. But, oh, I already have this open. But yeah, this one right here, this is the bitmap. If you want to see me create a bitmap from scratch, you can go watch the custom UI tutorial part 3, the updated version of that. But in this, I'm kind of just gonna blitz through it. So, as you can see here, we have an empty bitmap, or I guess a completely empty space surrounded by a blue border here, and some like magenta dots and a big magenta line. But basically, the bitmap itself has to follow a rule of 2. So I guess that's basically like factors of 8 or something. So this is 512 by 64. That's the size of the area that is not the border. Everything inside the border, which is the only thing Halo reads. Well, it's the only thing that becomes the bitmap. It's the only thing that shows up in game, I guess. And then the actual size of this entire bitmap is 520 by 72 because I have 4 pixels of space on each side. So you just add 8 when you create your stuff. So, yeah. And then we got these colors up here. The very first color, Halo reads these 3 colors right here, and then that determines what it does with those colors. So, first color is the border, and that just tells Halo, hey, this color's the border. So when it sees this color, it's like, hey, this is the border. Then this right here, this is the bitmap and sequence separator. Again, it tells Halo, hey, this is a new bitmap entirely, or it's a new sequence in the same bitmap. So a big magenta line across the top like this indicates an entire new bitmap. Holy fuck, how long is that? Yeah. So this indicates an entire new bitmap. So there's only one bitmap here because there's only one line. And then we got these magenta dots right here, which indicate a new sequence. And this only has one sequence, like this. Something with multiple sequences would look like... That's my plasma test right there. Something with multiple sequences would look like this. We got a magenta dot here, magenta dot here, magenta dot here. We got 2 bitmaps, but when we compile this, it'll be 2 bitmaps into one in game. Whereas, if I go into Halo, or into Gorilla, and we go down to the crosshair bitmap, open this one up. If we go to source, we can see the magenta line? That's separating an entire bitmap out from each other. And when you have a big sheet of bitmaps like that, the way you pick an individual bitmap is with the sequence index right here. So this is this tag I have right here. I copied everything from the assault rifle. And if we go in here, and 0 is 1. If we go to source, if we go to source, we can see this is the first one, so this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's how you choose your sequence, and that's how you specify a specific bitmap if you have like 10 bitmaps in one, if you have 10 images in one bitmap. So that's why that's 0, and that's why the crosshair will show up as an assault rifle 1 in game. So that's the point of the magenta color. And then we got the kind of a turquoise light blue color. This is dummy space. It basically, you can place it wherever you want. Like you can place it like all over. Oh. I can place all over here. Okay, what the fuck? Oh. I can place it all like that. And it will basically make it so Halo does not need to read this at all. It's a way of saving memory, I suppose. It still contributes to the size of the bitmap. Like I could fill like this section right here. I could fill it all. Well, not the border or the magenta, just the transparent area. I could fill that with the dummy color, and then Halo, it'll still contribute to it being a 512 by 64, but it will be discarded. It won't be part of the memory. So I guess it's a way to save memory, but you don't need to use that very often. And you don't need to use it at all for this. So that's the bitmap. That's what all the colors do. That's how they work. And now we have the transparent area. This must be transparent. You can't have it white. You can't have it any color. It has to be completely transparent. If you take the color picker, it needs to be 0, 0, 0 across the board. This is your template. And then everything you create on top of that is what will show up. So now the rest is pretty easy. You just all you do, you use pure white because you want it to show up as pure white in alpha, which means it has to be 255, and then you want it to show up as pure white in don't show alpha, which means the color itself has to be white, the RGB. So you set everything to 255, or RGB and A down here, all that 255, and then you just make a custom bullet. I made these. You can make it however you want, and then you just copy and paste it. However many bullets are in your magazine, you copy that bullet that many times. You arrange them in a formation like this. Not very hard at all. You might have to rearrange bullets and stuff once you actually compile it and see how it looks in Halo. You might have to make everything bigger, everything smaller. Things might get a little bit complicated, but once you get the correct size, it's very, very easy to just create the static bitmap. So actually, no, I don't want to save this. So yeah, the static element is very, very easy. All right, so now we will cover the meter elements version, which is the tedious one. It's not hard, really, once you figure out one bullet. It's just changing colors and copying it over, making a new one. But, well, it also depends on how many bullets you have. If you got 30 bullets, it gets a little tedious. If you got 60 rounds, that'd be a little scary. But, if you got 10, that ain't so bad. But, what's going on here is we basically need to make big puffy, well, we need to make big puffy versions of our bullets, or I guess, not even puffy versions, I'm not sure what to call them. I just made big rectangles, I guess it's like an overlay. You need to make an overlay for your bullet that is just pure color. So if we toggle on and off bullet, we got all this, it's all gray and stuff. But then if we only show alpha, then it's like the static one. It's just all the white bullets. And this is the thing where it tells the game how to empty, or tells the game in which order to empty your bullets. And it's also the thing that just changes the color when a bullet is fired as well. So the way it empties is it goes from the lightest color to the darkest color. That's how it empties. So we fire our weapon, it'll go down like this. Then it'll go up here, cross like that, and then it'll be empty. So, and it's just tied to the color. As you can see here, we got an RGB of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. During my testing, I found out that the only way that I figured out so far, the only way to get multiple rows of bullets working is if you go up by 4. Because the assault rifle and every other weapon, it went from whatever the first color would be all the way up to 240. It was basically pieces of 240. So the sniper rifle has 4 rounds in it, and it ended at 240. So 240 divided by 4 would be 60. So the first color for the sniper rifle would be 60, 120, 180, and then 240. So it'd be divided by 240 like that. But this doesn't end on 240. You don't need to end on 240. The assault rifle also ends on 240, but that has 60 rounds. So it goes from 4 all the way to 240. But, so I tried to do 8, because I had 30, so I did double the assault rifle color. So I did 8, 16, all the way up to 240. Turns out that didn't work. It only loaded the first, row, and it basically doubled up the ammo. So I shot twice, went down, shot twice, went down, shot twice, went down. So I was like, okay, what? But then I tried to do the assault rifle version. I went up by 4, and then instead of going to 240, I stopped at 120 because I only have 30 rounds, and that worked perfectly fine. So it starts at the brightest color. Whatever that is, it starts at the brightest color on the bitmap. So that's relatively easy to understand once you figure it out, of course. I lost many brain cells staring at this. Well, not this, but other versions of this, wondering what the hell is going on. But yeah, so now you create the exact same bitmap. It's a 520 by 72 with a transparent area of 512 by 64. That will become the bitmap. All the colors are the same. All the magenta stuff is the same. Border thickness is the same. And as you can see here, we have all these bullets, which we can see, that follow the color pattern. If we go on this, it'll be... What the fuck? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. If we go here, it'll be 444, 255, 8, 12, 16, 20, all the way up to 120. Now, the way you get that overlay thing, that big rectangle shit, this stuff, but also keep the bullet, is you play with the opacity. So if we go right here, what I did, I made all of this for every bullet. This is the big rectangle area. Right here. And I just cranked down the opacity for the areas where I don't want to show up on alpha. Because that's how the don't show alpha layer works. If you have the slightest color anywhere, the don't show alpha mode will just read it, regardless of the alpha is. So if we go over here, we can see 20, 20, 20, and then an alpha of 1. But if we go a little bit over, it goes up to 255. So the alpha here is irrelevant. And the alpha here is the only thing that matters. So as you can see, all the grayscale, the entire gray color thing has just gone away, because the only thing that matters is the alpha. And then the RGB colors just meet the alpha color in this mode. So it's 255, and then the alpha of 1, all the RGB meets that, and that's barely visible. I would do 0. I would have an alpha of 0 to make it completely transparent like this, but you can't, in paint.net, you can't like have an alpha of 0 and still have colors, apparently. At least I haven't found out a way to do that, but it doesn't matter because it still works in Halo. Everything still looks fine. So anyway, if we take the color picker over here, you can see 444 and then a alpha of 1, and I just did that for every bullet. I copied the bullet from here, made sure it was in the same position. You want to make sure all your bullets are in the same position here, because if it starts flashing, it's going to look weird, because they're going to be offset if all these bullets are not in the same exact position. But yeah, and then I did that for every bullet. Went to the next one. Chose this guy's color, paint bucket, cranked down the opacity, filled it in, and I just moved on. So yeah, if we go, you can see everything. Color, if I go to color picker, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, all the way up to 120. The only thing I'm changing is the opacity level. That's the only difference between these colors. And obviously, like we can't see it because of the opacity of 1, but the game can see it. The game knows what it's reading. So that's how you create the overlay, but also maintain the I guess the static element underneath, the alpha underneath. So yeah, it's just really, it's not too hard. The hardest part is just figuring it out, which is the part I had to do. So yeah. But now we have to compile both of these. And to do that, you have to, if you have a bitmap already existing of the same name, you have to delete that bitmap. Otherwise, it's not going to register properly. So if we, actually, I'll go wipe this stuff quick. And we're going to have to change some settings in the bitmaps before. But if we, meter element, take that away. Save that. Go up to static elements. Delete this. Delete that. Save that. And now if we go to tags, weapons, rifle, bitmaps, delete both of these. Now we're going to need to recompile them. And compilation process is pretty easy. You just, it's just a mirror. You just guide the thing, guide tool to where your bitmap is. So we'll open this up. And then I'll have the directory open right here so I can see it easily. Rifle, bitmaps. And we will use the tool bitmap command, which you have to specify the individual file you're using in your path directory, your source directory. So for tool bitmap, we're starting in data. So weapons, backslash, rifle, bitmaps, and then we do another backslash and specify the file. So ammo test. And it, oh yeah, you have to save all your stuff, all your raw data files. It has to be .tiff for bitmaps. And then we can do one more. For ammo test, for your static element one, I believe you can do 2D. And there we go. Compressed. And now if we go into Gorilla, and we go find this bitmap, open this shit up. So we got 2D textures. And for your static element, for your static element one, you want the type to be 2D. You want this to be monochrome. And I think that's it. There's some stuff down here. I believe the bitmap count is at 1 level. Sprite spacing is 2, but other than that, everything's fine. And if we show bitmap, okay, it did this weird. Okay, so do not do 2D when you compile. We can change it to 2D later. So do instead of doing 2D, oh, hold on. I have to delete that bitmap. Wait, no, if I change it up, if I do, no, okay, you have to delete the bitmap first. You can't just add a new bitmap in there, or you can't add the same exact one. So we'll get rid of that, and then instead of 2D, you want to do interface, because that will you saw when I opened that up, when I opened up that bitmap, it basically, there was a bunch of other smaller versions of the same bitmap there. That's not how it should be. Yeah, now it's just this one bitmap, and if we show alpha, everything looks good. And now we can change this to 2D texture, monochrome, 1 mip map count, 2 sprite spacing. I don't think these last 2 settings matter much at all, but I set them just to be safe. And now that is done, and we can plug that into the static elements right here. Ammo test. There we go. And the anchor test. One more thing. This is gonna show up really, really big in Halo. So if you want to make yours smaller, you can do HUD scale 0.5 and it'll make it half the size. But that might not work either. So if it's not working the way you want to, you're probably gonna have to go edit your raw data file again, change it a little bit, make it smaller, make it bigger. You can mess with the anchor offset, make it move over more to the Y. Do what you want to get it in the right position. But just remember, every time you recompile it, you have to delete. You have to delete the bitmap in your tag. No, you have to delete the tag bitmap before you recompile again. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. So that's that. So I'll leave it at full scale just so we can clearly see what's going on when we load into Halo. So now the meter bitmap, it's the exact same thing. Yeah, it's the exact same thing for compilation. Instead of whatever the first one is, we do meter test interface. Do that again. There we go. That's created. And now we open that up. Meter test. And we want this to be a sprite. And monochrome again. If you make both your bitmaps the exact same size like I did, the static element and the meter element bitmaps, then if you check one of these to be HUD 0.5 scale, you're gonna want to check the other one as well. But I left the static element normal size, so I'll leave this normal size as well. A mipmap count. 1. That 2. And that should be good. Save this. Show bitmaps. Everything works fine. And now we need to plug that into the meter bitmap here. Meter test. So we got meter test for that one. Ammo test for that one. And again, all the other settings you can copy straight from the assault rifle, pistol, whatever. I believe state attached to loaded ammo, that's pretty important because that's what we're checking. That's what the meter is for, checking the loaded ammo. And then that's the same down here. Full screen from parent. I think I'll change this to 60 for both because I remember it being a little bit. Oh no, this is the big version. You'll just leave it like that. If both your bitmaps are the exact same size, you're going to want to have the offset be the same because when it starts flashing, it's going to look off from itself. And yeah. Now we will check it out in Halo, which I already have everything set up and ready to go. A weapon spawn. Fucking shit. Okay, here we go. So, map, name, levels, things. And now we'll wait a little bit more to get this loaded in, and when we pick up the weapon, everything should be working. It'll still give me the prompt of picking up the assault rifle because that's the messaging index I chose, or the messaging information I chose for the weapon HUD interface, but that'll probably be its own separate video as well. Doing a heat meter will be its separate video. Probably a custom crosshair will be its separate video. A custom messaging information will be its own custom video. So there's a whole lot more to do with weapons. But I guess the major stuff is out of the way. So we got this weapon. As you can see right there, hit E to pick up the assault rifle. That's because of the sequence index and the messaging information. If we pick it up, there we go. We got 30 rounds. Again, it's pretty big because that's just the way I made it. And now we shoot once. It goes down by 1. It's all in sync together because both bitmaps are the exact same offset, exact same size. And now if we go all the way down to 5 left. Remember I believe it's the third option in the weapon HUD interface. What is it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's flashing red now. And if we go all the way down, just like that. So yeah, and we got the count of the ammo is just default up there. The 259, that's just default. You can find those bitmaps too and change them if you really want to. But I mean, I guess if you want to make a complete overhaul, you can find all these bitmaps. You can find the motion tracker at the bottom, the heat, the shields, the health, the grenades. You can find all these bitmaps and change them however you want to. Knowing how to do the meter bitmap. Whoa, fuck. Knowing how to do this and get a bitmap where you can switch the alpha on and off and have an entirely separate looking thing. Knowing how to do this will probably allow you to edit just about any bitmap. What the fuck? Really just fell off the table. But yeah, knowing how to do this will allow you to do anything. But yeah, that's for weapons with fixed magazines. I guess I'll open up the plasma rifle one. I'm not gonna do plasma this video, but because I just don't know how to do it yet. It seems a bit easier actually. Although getting a custom bitmap working might be a pain in the ass. But as we can see here, for the plasma rifle weapon HUD interface, this uses the master plasma child HUD. And then it doesn't use total ammo cutoff, loaded ammo, this doesn't matter. It only uses heat cutoff and age cutoff. I'm not sure what age means, but heat is overheating. And then age, that might be the version, that might be the battery actually. Battery age, that might be the battery. But as you can see, the individual plasma weapon, it doesn't have static elements and it doesn't have meter elements either. It just has the crosshairs and then the messaging information. So the weapon HUD interface tag is much simpler. But if we open the master plasma weapon HUD interface, then that has static elements, it has meter elements, it has number elements. There are several different meter elements. One for split screen, one for that. It's attached to the heat rather than loaded ammo. The static elements are attached to age, and there's some that are attached to age, some heat. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. So we got backgrounds, ammo outlines. I guess we'll open the ammo outlines. This, I believe this is the, this is for, I think, yeah, this is for, like, the literal ammo count, I believe. Ammo outlines, and then backgrounds. Oh, so the backgrounds and outlines are their, like, own separate thing. But yeah, there's still some stuff that I need to figure out for the plasma, but that's how you do it for loaded ammo, for rounds, for fixed magazines. And hopefully that made sense. Hopefully it was easy to follow. I guess, yeah, if you got questions, I'll do my best to answer it. And yeah, I'll try and get the heat meter video out pretty soon, which would be part 5 of this. So if you made it here, thank you for watching. If you watch any of my other stuff, thank you for watching that as well. If you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button on the home page or the link in the description, and I will see you in whatever I decide to do next time. So thank you for watching.